So we're here with Xavi.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Good, man. We're good. Yeah, really excited to see what you brought to the show.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're at the Body Synths.
Yeah, we're bringing the what we call the Metal Fetishist Chrome Edition, which is basically the same thing you may have seen before, but it has this chrome reflected finish instead of black. And this is it's a limited edition that we are producing at the moment, and we will start shipping it to our retailers in a couple of weeks. During May, I guess it should be available in some shops by the second half of May at some point.
Excellent.
Yeah, we are at the moment doing a first batch of 100, but we have parts for a total of 200 units. So it's not going to be rare. We don't it's not about running and buying it as soon as possible. We think it's going to be available for some months, which we expect.
Excellent. And the functionality is the same between
It's exactly
the
the same thing. It is exactly the same thing, yes.
Great. But you also have some firmware updates.
Yeah,
in the
we've been, during the last year, we've been improving the firmware and doing mostly fixes. So there hasn't been any new functionality to it, mostly because, if you look at the instrument, there's no screen. How would you enable new functionality, But basically we came up with the idea that we needed some kind of settings menu, because at the moment the MIDI input is only for clock sync, but we want at some point during the next few months we'll release a new MIDI firmware in which you will be able to play the instrument via MIDI.
Yeah, that would
now
be
for
fantastic.
that we wanted a menu in which you could change the MIDI channel. So we developed a menu, and then once we had it, we came up with the idea, we have a menu, we can actually change the behavior of the instrument, we can change what some of the things do. So this, I'm going to show you, this is only a preview. None of the things here are guaranteed to happen. But
okay,
all of these things can be tested right now. So we have two menus. In one of them, we can change if the people that are familiar with the instrument know that the rust corrosion is our distortion section. So right now, for example, if I'm going to play it, this is sorry, is it too loud? This is the distortion section. But if I go to menu 1, I can reassign that into other effects. So I can say menu 1 is you hold, you go play, stop, and release. Now we are in menu 1. The steps knob is a big selector. If I move it around, you will see that it's in off. Off is always the default value, which, as you can see here, is distortion. So if instead I go to the number 8, I will go to a phaser. I click, now I enable the phaser, and this tells me that there has been a change. So when I hit play, and this is the speed of the LFO, and this is the depth of the phaser. And that is the basic idea of the menu settings.
Yeah.
We have a pulse width modulation. We have a few things that we are just testing. None of these effects have been properly tweaked. We basically did the minimum in order for to show what's going on,
Yeah.
And in the same way, we also implemented a modulation assignment. For example, I think we have some kind of hi-hat here. So you see what we have here. Before, we could modulate the cutoff. Now I'm modulating the cutoff, and because there's some resonance, I'm creating a melody. But what we can do now is go to menu 2, and now I'm going to change what of these three positions, what the third one means. And instead of going the cutoff, I will change it to the volume decay time.
Yeah, that's great.
Which is, let me check it. It's number 2. It is confusing, we know it's confusing.
Yeah,
so
it's
early
early stages.
I don't think anyone can use it without the cheat sheet.
Not yet.
We enabled it, and now we can basically, if we close the volume decay, we can start modulating it. And that's an 8-step sequence in which we are modulating the time of the decay, which is something that we were not able to do these kind of things before.
Because the original one has the choice of pitch
Exactly.
What are the
so
three
it's
choices
pitch,
originally built
noise,
in?
which is a crossfader between the oscillator and noise, and the cutoff.
And the cutoff,
what we are
right.
doing here is reassigning the third position into potentially like other parts of the instrument.
Yeah,
and that
that's
includes the CB input. That means that now we have CB input access to controlling the rust corrosion, to controlling some of the decay amounts and stuff like that.
Fantastic.
All of this is mutually exclusive. Like if you do this, then you lose that. You just have the ability to select another destination, and that is the idea.
Yeah, it's an amazing device, man. We absolutely loved reviewing it.
And now we have two units playing, in which one has a phaser and the other one is modulating something that was not possible before.
Yeah. And can you tell us a little bit? Can you tell us a little about the inspiration behind changing the firmware? You know, we've seen the Prodigy using this on stage.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us about that. The firmware changes and Liam Howlett's connection.
Yeah, we since the beginning we've had people ask for, like, wouldn't it be nice if it behaved like this instead of that? Like one common one, for example, is that the way that it's receiving the clock. If this one is the one receiving the clock, and the source stops, after a few seconds, this one is gonna re-engage on its own internal sequencer. You will see this happening in a second. You know, and a lot of people say, "Oh, can it not do that? Can you just instead go to stop and then play and then it happens?" So this is like a behavioral change. And now with all these menu settings, we'll be able to have, like I showed you the effects and modulation reassignment, but there's gonna be a third one for the MIDI channel and a fourth one which we called options. And in options, you will be able to enable or disable these kind of things. And I think what you were talking about the Prodigy, like we have bands like that using this live and say, we want like, for example, things like we want that when you hit play, it actually resets the sequence at the moment this is not happening. And it's just basically like different behaviors. It's a global settings kind of thing, which we are fully aware that it's extremely confusing to use, but it's a nice to have.
Absolutely.
It's a nice to have.
And it's an amazing module.
It's not like this is getting a screen or there's going to be a Mark II with this or that. It's none of that. It's the same thing, but you can modify the behavior of this, you can modify the behavior of this, you can change the way that the sequencer works, and most importantly, I think you will be able to play with MIDI. And I think, as I said, this is not available at the moment. And I think at some point in the summer, I mean, the menu has been done. We may include some more like visual feedback. Like, for example, if you enter menu 2, maybe this will blink twice. Like now it's working, but we want to make it better. We want to document it properly before we put it out. We already had people like asking, "Oh, do you have a beta version that I can try?" Or and maybe at some point, but I don't want to put this out too early because I have not measured because this is a digital instrument. I have not went through the hassle of measuring is any of the effects consuming too many CPU cycles and things like that. That's why I don't want to guarantee any of these things happening, because I want to make sure that everything we are introducing is 100% stable when you combine it with any other option, and none of that has been tested. We're just previewing, we're just showing where this is going mostly.
Yeah, well, I think it's already a fantastic machine. You've already proven that, and to add any more functionality to it is the icing on the cake.
Yeah, I think it's a cool thing that people were not expecting an instrument that has no screen to suddenly say, "Oh, you have a flanger now." It's kind of.
Yeah, and the extra
when
modulation.
we announced it on Instagram, I got a lot of replies of people that have it saying, "How are you doing this? There's no more knobs,
Great. Well, thank you so much for showing us, Xavi.
No, thank you for checking it.
Good luck for the release. Thank you.
Have a good, enjoy the show, and thanks for passing by.